Now, a UNICEF report on pre-primary school education has shown that 400,000 children between the ages of 4 and 6 are out of the classroom. This is an increase in the 390,000 children reported in the 2016-17 Education Management Information Systems report by the Ministry of Education. Now, poverty is key among the 3 factors contributing to this development. The report, however, finds it worrying that after 24 years of introducing FCUBE, the country still grapples with such a challenge. Here is a recap of what we reported in 2018, exactly 7 months ago.
Ghana's education policy says at age 4, a child should be in kindergarten. However, according to the 2016-2017 Ministry of Education's Management Information System, there are more than 600,000 children aged between 6 and 11 years who sit in KG classrooms, while over 350,000 are not in school at all. The Ashanti and Bonahafu regions have the highest over and underage children, with the least in the Upper West region. It is common to find overage children in many schools in Ningo and other parts of the country. Though parents and guardians appreciate enrolling their children at the right age, a major setback in their quest is poverty.
In this society, since it's a farming society and fishing society, so at times coming to bringing them to school is very difficult. At times they do help their parents to go and fish and go and help them at the farm.
Some of them, they come to the beach to get fish to sell and get money because they are financially down. So, and the parents cannot afford.
In the 2016-2017 Education Management Information System report by the Ministry of Education, over 110,000 overage children competed with almost 75,000 right-age children for the same space in the Greater Accra region for enrollment. This means there are more overage children scrambling with right-age children for the same KG classrooms.
Now, UNICEF's education specialist, Madiz Adamuisa, joins me in the studio. And, of course, he's got more on this latest report. Good afternoon, Madiz.
Good afternoon.
Now, I've got to ask you, I mean, is this good news for Ghana or not?
Talking about just the 400,000 out of contest, then it's bad news. But if you look at Ghana's progress in KG enrollment, you see that within the Sub-Saharan Africa, Ghana has done really well. So let us put that in context. Enrollment is at 75% net. That means that of all the children who are supposed to be in kindergarten, 75% are already there, as compared to some countries doing 20%, 15%, 30%. So Ghana has really done well.
Right.
But that's not to say that that is okay. We could have done a little bit better.
Right. Now, the report talks about poverty being one of the big factors here. So what is it? Is it that the children are not going at all, or they're trying to go, but they're stopped by poverty and other factors?
Yes, indeed. Poverty is one of the issues, but there's more beyond that. You know, some children, especially those in hard-to-reach areas, if the KG is far away from them, 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers, parents definitely will not allow their 4-year-old children to walk 3 kilometers to school. In some cases, there are other reasons. Disability is one of them. Children who suffer from various forms of disability may not even come out, let alone go to kindergarten. Okay, that's another reason. There are also issues. You mentioned poverty. Is it really the case? Because within the same household, people on similar income levels, but some do not even go at all. Okay, so sometimes the issue of poverty has been overhyped. For me, distance is one major issue.
Right.
Yeah.
So that would indicate that perhaps the poverty is the poverty of government, because if they could build more schools nearer to these kids in their own communities, not 4 kilometers away, then they could take advantage of the free education, couldn't they?
Yes. from outside you could say that, but no, you can't just go to any hamlet in Ghana and put a school there. So if there are pockets where you cannot cite a school, it's not like a junior high school where people can walk. If there are maybe a small population of 100 in a village, only 5 or 10 children, how do you put a kindergarten there?
But we're talking about numbers like 400,000. So clearly this is not a problem isolated to the hamlets.
Thank you. Spread over across the country, 260 or 254 districts. So if you do an average, you're talking about maybe, my math is not so good, but you're talking about, is it 100 here, 200 here, spread over how many communities? So the 400,000 for the country may sound very huge, but if you spread them across all the villages and hamlets, you are getting 20 here, 10 here, 5 there. That's what totals the 400,000.
So if the biggest factor here is distance, then it's almost like we're throwing our hands up and saying we can't do much about it, because what can you do? It's you know, your school is kilometers away. You don't own a vehicle. You're poor. So I mean, you see, what is the solution?
Let me also add that the 400,000 that we're talking about, it's not like they won't go at all. You know, some of them may even be in kindergarten, crèche or nursery, which is lower than kindergarten. Okay, there are also a few of them. Their parents want to fast track them. So there are people here, maybe you have friends who will put their children in primary 1 at age 5. So some are also hiding in primary school. That is why at the primary school level, the net enrollment rate also is something else, because there are some few underage children there. There are some people hiding. So yes, we have a problem. Nobody should run away from that. But I want us to accept that for kindergarten, my personal view is that you can't go to 0%. Definitely, there will be a small number who, due to disability, due to distance, may not be in school.
So that 400,000, what percentage are they of all the children that should be enrolled in kindergarten?
We're talking about 25%.
25%, a quarter of them.
Yeah.
So what is your recommendation? How do we bring this statistic down?
You mentioned one of them, getting schools closer to children. In the urban centers, it's not such a huge problem, because children can be in Tema and still commute to school in Accra. Children can be somewhere 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 30 kilometers away and still go to school. But in the villages, that is where the challenge is. So getting schools closer to children is one of them. Letting people know the right age of enrollment is another that the ministry is already looking at, see for the communication for an enrollment drive, looking at right age enrollment. How do you get parents to understand that children should enroll at 4 years and not wait until they are 5 years? Because there's a knowledge gap somewhere.
Right. Well, clearly, this is something that can be resolved with a bit of attention.
It can. There's going to be a massive campaign led by the ministry, and UNICEF is supporting it, to let parents know that enrollment age is 4 years for kindergarten and 6 years for primary school. That's one of the things that will be done.
Mr. Issa, thank you so much for your time with us. That's UNICEF's education specialist, Madiz Issa.